Hello friends, welcome to Simplify with Swati. Today I will be talking about further public offering or follow-on public offering with a recent example of the Yes Bank FPO. So I will start with a brief background of the bank. We all know about the financial crisis that happened at the Yes Bank in early March 2020, which occurred as a result of governance lapses, bad loans and compliance issues, after which it was put under a moratorium of 1 month by the Reserve Bank of India. Moratorium refers to the suspension or delay of an activity or legal obligation. Now, the financial crisis surrounding the Yes Bank was mainly a result of the significant unreported NPAs or non-performing assets, which are loans for which the repayments to the bank have been delayed for more than 90 days, thus necessitating action by the regulating authorities. Later, the State Bank of India took over the management of Yes Bank by investing Rs 6,050 crores for a 48.2% stake in it. After this fund infusion in March 2020, Yes Bank now, after almost 3 to 4 months of these incidents, on July 13, 2020, announced that it plans to raise 15,000 crore rupees through an FPO or follow-on public offering to raise additional equity from the public. So first we will understand the meaning of an FPO. An FPO is the issue of additional shares by a company subsequent to an IPO or initial public offering, and thus it is already listed on a stock exchange. So when this offer is made for the first time, it is an IPO. The follow-on offer is made to raise more funds from the public by issuing equity shares. Now let's talk about the FPO offering by Yes Bank as stated in its red herring prospectus filed with the SEBI in detail. A red herring prospectus is a preliminary offer document or prospectus filed with the SEBI, and it contains the details of the offer. In this case, Yes Bank has filed it with the Registrar of Companies, and the number of shares that shall be issued is not disclosed. Only the upper and the lower price range has been mentioned. Rupees 12 is the floor price and Rupees 13 is the cap price for the FPO. The price range is mentioned so that the investors can bid at various prices which are greater than or equal to the floor price or minimum price. This process of price discovery is known as book building, and the issue price is determined after the bid closing date. In this case, it was 17th July 2020. The face value of the equity share is Rupees 2, which is the par value also, fixed by the company at the time of issuance of the share. It helps in calculating the dividend on the shares, and generally it is lower than the market value. Like in this case also, the floor price is Rupees 12, which is greater than the face value of Rupees 2. Also, it is 6 times the face value of the equity share. The issue price will be determined based on the demand and supply dynamics, and only those investors who have quoted greater than or equal to the issue price will be allotted these shares. This FPO intends to raise Rs 15,000 crores, and the number of shares that will be issued will be based on the final price discovered. Now let's talk about who can apply to this FPO. The total offer size is 15,000 crore rupees, but the net offer size is 14,800 crore rupees, as the bank has reserved rupees 200 crores for its employees, who will be given a discount of rupee 1 per equity share. So the bank has divided its offer into 3 categories of investors. The first are the institutional buyers, also known as the qualified institutional buyers. This category of investors can invest up to 50% of the offer size, that is Rs 7,400 crores. The qualified institutional buyers basically refer to the institutional investors registered with the SEBI. These consist of financial institutions, commercial banks, mutual funds, and foreign portfolio investors. They are offered shares before the book building or price discovery process. A QIB or a qualified institutional buyer who applies for more than rupees 10 crores worth of shares is known as an anchor investor, and a maximum limit of 60% of the QIB portion can be allotted to the anchor investor. The next category of investors are the retail buyers who can invest up to 35% of the offer size, that is 5,180 crore rupees. It is important to note that the retail investors can bid in lots of 1,000 shares and their multiples only. That means they cannot apply for less than 1,000 shares for this FPO, as the application will be rejected. The last is the non-institutional investors. They are not registered with the SEBI. This category of investors includes high net worth individuals, NRIs, and companies. The non-institutional investors bid for more than rupees 2 lakhs in the FPO. In the Yes Bank FPO, the amount that this category of investors can invest is limited to 15% of the offer, that is rupees 2,220 crores. The following are the book running lead managers of this FPO. A book running lead manager has a major role to play in managing the complete process of public offering. These are financial institutions appointed by the company who not only ensure accurate reporting but also regulatory compliance as per the rules laid down by SEBI. That's all for this session for today. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, please like and share.